originally just a side project of Stir. We were between records. We were trying to just trying to play music. So we started like a bar band, and we closed every night with the second half of Dark Side of the Moon. We really loved doing it. Like, we loved playing that part of the night. It was like we were always looking forward to it. So it was the guys in Stir, the three of us, and Mark.
No, I just knew those guys from part of that, the rock scene, and they were Stir needed to basically perform kind of incognito because their record company wasn't going to allow them to play as Stir. So they decided they were going to form this cover band called Monstero so that they could play out live around town and get away with it. And they asked me to sing with them, so I just said, sure, yeah, I'd love to.
I think it was different for me than it was for them because they had already, this was my first, so it was like, hey, here's the new guy. And there wasn't really a press release or anything at that point. It was just like the curtain went up and people were like, who the hell is that? You know.
And then I don't remember how we found Ermini, but we found Ermini, and she brought Denise Addy at that time was the other. We had two background vocalists the first year.
Ermini and I have sang together since we were like 18.
Really?
Very young, yes. Wow. And so she was like, hey, you want to do this Pink Floyd thing? And I'm like, okay. Money and We Don't Need No Education were the two songs I'd heard. When she gave me Great Gig, I was like, okay, right.
Ermini called me up. We'd already been singing together, the three of us at that point. So we already knew how to harmonize. We loved singing together. So it was real easy and natural for me to join in.
And then I was a huge fan of Sunsawed in Half, and Dave Farver was the saxophone player in Sunsawed in Half. So it was just like all these people we just sort of knew, we never really played with, but we knew all of them from other bands around town.
What the Pink Floyd thing is that's so different and why I think this gig works so much is Pink Floyd was one of those bands that wasn't like on the covers of magazines with their faces. And, they were more laid back into the imagery of what the entire band was about. And I think that's what gives us the freedom to do this is because we don't have to, you wouldn't have a Beatles tribute band and not dress up like the Beatles. Whereas with this, there's so much free reign visually to do whatever we want. And that's what I think this whole spectacle is about, is us, this is the Americanized monster truck, middle American version of Pink Floyd.
The great thing about this band is that we're not a band, but when we come together, we play like one, and we're all sort of friends outside of here, so we talk all year long. We're able to make people believe in it, right? And we give the audience a ton of ownership. I mean, this is a holiday tradition. It's not a Pink Floyd tribute band.
I think the really cool thing, I'm going to throw KSHE in here, is that the symbiotic relationship between the band and KSHE and the fans of both just made this all happen organically. It wasn't like any kind of contrived thing that we pushed on people. It just all kind of really organically grew, and then it grew exponentially.
We are so fortunate to have the wonderful fans that we are that continue to come see the show. And they all have stories that all connect to the music, that connect to this band, that connect to the radio station, the city. It's all a big ball of love.
It's amazing. That's an amazing honor. It really is.